your mean Cobra? Wait till you meet Slaughter's Marauders. Slaughter's Marauders camouflage, they can't be seen. But you better believe they're mean.
Figures sold separately.
Nobody beats G.I. Joe. Yo-Joe!
Hey, this is Mike from Junkie on Crafts and Builds, and this is the impressions and unboxing for G.I. Joe Classified series, Gabriel Barbecue Kelly. So we'll start looking at the box, and we got this really cool art right in front here of Barbecue. I like it a lot. This is the color scheme of the Mad Marauders, or if you are old like me, you recognize it as Slaughter's Marauders color scheme. There's a side as well. Again, a close-up of that same really cool image on front. On the back, we have a digital render showing his height. He's 6.47 inches tall, and he comes with all these accessories, which we'll see once I get him out of the box. Finally, the tech specs here for those that care, and he is number 58. So that's the box. Let's open him up and see what we got. Out of his packaging, we can see that Barbecue is a complete redeco of the original Barbecue figure we received last year. So we'll get him out of the way and look at the accessories, which shouldn't take too long. Barbecue's accessories come in this standard G.I. Joe Footlocker style cardboard container. Has his name. Again, he's number 58. And the accessories are identical to what we received already. So he comes with his backpack with various fire retardant chemicals. Mine just seems a little bent here. They're not exactly straight. But we got this really cool tampograph warning signs. It's got some decent sculpting around. You can see mine's just slightly bent. So we'll see how that looks on the character. To go with that backpack, we have a flexible hose and nozzle for him to fight fires and whatnot. And the hose just notches right into the back of that nozzle, and the other end goes into this little peg on the backpack to give you that look. Final two accessories are a pair of axes. We've got the regular hand axe here, and then we got a big double-fisted axe here. Black plastic with silver accents for the blade and the grip on the small one. So that's the accessories. Let's talk about the character. So now that we have Barbecue all geared up, let's talk about the character. Gabriel Kelly, aka Barbecue, is a corporal or an E4 in the Army. He's from Boston, Massachusetts. His primary MOS is a fireman, and his secondary MOS is infantry. His family had firefighting in their blood, and had he not joined the Joes, Gabriel would have been the 7th Kelly to join the Boston Fire Department. Barbecue loves being a firefighter, and it's not because of duty or glory or family tradition. He just likes being in the action. He loves being on a fire truck as it's going through the streets with its lights and sirens blaring. He loves getting into the mix with fires, and he just likes to break stuff. You know, it's glorious that, you know, he gets to go through windows, walls, and doors and just destroys everything with an axe. If we were all that lucky to enjoy our jobs in life. Barbecue is also known to being a party animal. And when you see him show up at your party, you know things are about to get started. Barbecue's first vintage toy release was the 1985 wave of figures. He was also introduced in the vintage commercial for the All Striker.
Introducing the new Joes, Barbecue and Shipwreck.
And he was available through 1987. In 1989, we saw a reissue of his figure as Slaughter's Marauders, which is what we see here. This version was discontinued in 1991, but in 1992, Barbecue had a new figure out, and it was a new mold, and it was under the Eco Warriors sub-team. And that was a team where things were kind of getting a little more garish in the 90s. It had the gimmick of the color change body when it was struck with water. He had a water rifle and backpack that could actually hold water and shoot it out at other figures. His first comic appearance was in Marvel Comics issue number 40, where he and a team of Joes were building and transporting a battle platform. They were attacked by Cobra Commander and Zartan using Moray hydrofoil bow. As the battle continued, the platform started to catch fire, and Barbecue jumped into the fray and contained the fire before it could spread and destroy the platform overall. Barbecue was also in the Sunbow version of the G.I. Joe cartoon. He first debuted in not only in the opening sequence, but also in the Pyramid of Darkness miniseries. His first episode where he had a speaking role was in The Greenhouse Effect.
On ecological experimentation, Alpine, let me show you.
He had 2 public service announcements. He also continued into the Deke-produced versions of the cartoon, but he was mainly there as a background character for part of Slaughter's Marauders. And that's the quick background of the character. So let's look at the aesthetics of Barbecue. So looking at this repaint, I can kind of go through everything and kind of talk it through, but let me just tell you how I feel about it. I loved the first version of Barbecue. I loved the vintage toy that I had when I was a kid. I always thought it was cool because he was just so different than everyone else. This character, he's big, he's bulky, he's got this chunky suit of armor, if you want to say, to help protect him and fight fires. The aesthetics on this is really nice in regards to like the color scheme with the dark blue, lighter green, and then the brown coming across. I never really had a lot of Sergeant Slaughter's Marauders figures, but the color scheme is complementary for what they do. They were kind of like a quick strike force. They wanted to stay hidden and camouflaged. This character is really nice. He's one of the older waves, so the articulation isn't as great. I'm sure you can find plenty of videos that went through the step-by-step articulation with this guy. Degradation on the mold is minimal. The only thing I have is I have one loose little ankle pivot here. He can kind of go super wonky with it. But overall, he's nice. And the fact that he can store all his equipment on him is just another bonus. Yeah, like I said, this ankle gives me a little bit of heartache, but it's not insurmountable. The hose, you can get some really decent dynamic poses with him. The only limitation, like I said, is that he doesn't really have a lot of ab crunch because of the vest that he wears. And his head articulation isn't the greatest because of just how the sculpting turns out. But again, he's a big firefighter. He doesn't really need to be jump around. He's not super agile. And here's the comparison I wanted to go through with the original version of Barbecue. And I love this character. I think he looks great. I think the sculpting that Hasbro did with this guy is just spot on. Common changes we have here, we have some minor deco changes. Again, with the highlight area here, that's not on this. We've got a dial that's kind of in this yellowish greenish color, which isn't on the air respirator here on this version here. But other than that, let's see, the only thing is we have this little tampograph on the original Barbecue right here. As I block the light, that isn't on this version. But other than that, I mean, there's some slight deco changes to the tampagraphs on the back of the backpack. But overall, I mean, it's spot on. But that's really the aesthetics of everything that I want to touch on. So let's just roll right into final thoughts. So final impressions of G.I. Joe Classified Series number 58, Barbecue from Slaughter's Marauders or Mad Marauders. I think the deco choices for this mold work well, just like it did with the vintage toy. And I love the fact that as an older mold, it still stands out amongst these new molds that we've gotten from this wave. I don't know, he looks really cool. I like the original, I like this one, and who doesn't love dual axe wielding figures? In this wave, this has kind of been the so-so wave of Classified. We've had some successes in regards to deco choices. I think all these look really well done to a certain extent. There are some exceptions. And that is the kind of the negative that we see with this wave. Some of these figures are rife with QC issues. And I'm hoping that, and we have the new wave coming out with Shipwreck, Rock and Roll, that they take a little more time to make sure that things work well. Barbecue, do you need to buy them? If you have the original and you're not following the subline, no. You already know that you have a great figure in hand. But if you are like me and you like to see the variety of stuff, Barbecue's not bad. I've heard people buying this character in multiples to kind of make their own little army builder, and Barbecue being the lead for the Joe's firefighting team. That's basically what I have. I like him. You know, hopefully if anything else, you'll find him and add him to your collection as well. So that's all I have. Again, thank you as always for watching, and if you're still watching at this point, I really do thank you, because it helps me out a lot. I love the comments. I love the feedback that I get from viewers. 90% of you guys aren't subscribed, so I hopefully am earning your trust to subscribe and click the notifications so you know when I have new videos coming out. But that's all I have. Thank you guys again, and we'll talk to you soon.